I think I need to do this for my benefit more than anyone else's as to where the content went. If you look at my channel at this point last year in the season of Autocraft, I was 7 to 8 episodes in. I had a lot going on all the time. And I was having a blast. I also had several different story arcs going on all at once. And it was difficult to keep track of, but I was having fun. Now, I'm at episode 2. I'm wrapping up 3 right now. And I've already scrapped episode 3 twice. Episode 2 twice. I put one out. As I put in the last one. Because, first of all, there's a slight lack of motivation on my part. And part of that I think has to do with burnout. Last season was taxing. Did several animations and a very lengthy storyline. I talked about it on stream a couple of times. I have, amongst a number of documents, about 17 to 20 pages of scripts of everything that I'd written out. Things that needed to happen, stuff I wanted to have happen. And like 90% of it ended up on the cutting room floor and didn't get used. But it's there. I mean, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's canon. It's just not public canon. Once in a while, I want to like go back and take all of the clips from everything from all the different seasons from the different servers. And it was 2 of them. It was my last episode of Questcraft in season 1, and then I came halfway through season 2 of Autocraft, and then wrapped it up in season 3 of Autocraft. And I needed to wrap it up for multiple reasons. But first of all, my own mental health. And not in the way that it was draining my mental health, it was, but I realized after a while that it was a mirror of my own mental health at the time. And to a degree. It was the way I was expressing myself as a creative outlet. Now, this is not something I say lightly, and it's something that needs to be talked about more frequently and more openly what it is, especially in the Americas. Mental health is very important, and you need to take care of you and yourself, and that should always be a priority. I think the lack of a proper storyline, I think, is really making it difficult for me to have motivation. I can build stuff all day. I can build stuff all day long. But there's a part of me that says, okay, what's the point? Where am I going with this? Yeah, I always build stuff with story in mind. I always like to leave things for people to look at and think about and what have you. That's just how I roll. But I'm like, where am I going with this? I have my starter town build, you'll see it soon if you watch it, like partially done. I have most of it designed. There's bits and pieces of it. And if I really, really wanted to, my first 3 episodes could have been 1 episode. Easy. And last season it would have been. I would have plowed through it like it was nothing. But last season I already had like huge things in the pipe already in progress. That cathedral I've been working on and off for years. And then I finally really, really focused on it at that point because I had motivation, I had a tact, I had a reason, everything was there. And everything just kind of fell into place. But that story arc is kind of what held me together. And I'm just realizing that to a degree. And so I don't really know what to do with myself. And it's not that I don't want to make content, it's that I don't know what kind of content I should be making. And that seems like a silly question for some people. Make the content you want to make. But now that I'm done with that, and I don't want to do another one because I'm not ready in any shape or the form to do another one. But what does that look like? Sure, I have ideas. I'm going things with what I'm done. But they're just buildings right now. And I've got like tiny bits of lore and ideas of where they could go. But I need a larger purpose, I think. I think that was one of the things that it was a stumbling block for me when I first started doing videos on Atlascraft, which is this server. If you go back to some of my really early ones, at one point I'm like, well, I don't feel like I need a purpose. And it took me a long time to figure out, oh, my purpose is going to be I'm going to turn the whole thing to Music Park. I want it to be not only something I've made, but something that feels like it has a place in the world. And right now, I don't really have that. I don't know what to do about it. I think what keeps me going more than anything is probably Alpin and Rusty. They've become very good friends. And I respect them a lot. I don't want to let them down. But I also realize that if I need to walk away for half a season, I'm not going to let them. They would both perfectly understand, but I feel like I'd be letting myself down at that point. I think that's what it is. I'd be letting myself down. I still think, to a degree, I need more closure from last season than I got. I thought just wrapping up the story arc would be plenty. Would be like finale, done. But what people don't understand is that animation was the second one, which is as things in Minecraft have a tendency to go. Oh, this will only take me 5 or 6 hours. 40 hours later, you're finally finished with it. This was the thing. My second to last episode, I said, yeah, I've got one more animation coming. Shouldn't take me near as long. That one took me like 40 to 60 hours, something like that. No. No. 40 to 60, but add a 0. If it was less than 600 hours to do that animation, I would be surprised. And it was my sole focus, everything, for 2 or 3 weeks. And rendering it was 46 hours. I think the thing that frustrates me is there is a lot of stuff that I left on the cutting room floor. A lot of things, a lot of threads that I never got to explain. There's a part of me that's like, well, I should go back and take all the bits and pieces and put together in a single video and, like do an explanation. But it's that thing where I'm still a very small channel. Now, granted, I've had some tremendous growth this last year. Tremendous for Minecraft anyway. I've got over 300 subs now. I'm sure some of them are people who are subbed up for my Spectrum tutorials, which I also want to do more of. But it's another one of those, I want to do this project, but it's very time consuming and very overwhelming. Just like I want to go back through and address everything that got missed, because there's a lot of stuff that got missed in that animation. If you go back and look at it, there's tiny little references here and there of things I took out because I flat out just didn't have the time. I didn't have the patience. I wanted to get wrapped up. I was already hundreds of hours in, and I needed it done for my own sake and for, well, my wife's sake too. She was very, very patient and understanding with me about it. I owe her a huge debt of gratitude for that. And I have to wonder if I should be doing it anyway, but it feels very, very selfish. I'm rambling a little bit. I'm so sorry. It just feels selfish of me to feel like I need to. I should, that people would actually be interested. And some people would be interested to see all the different things and see all the pieces put together and what got left out. But I don't know how many people would actually be interested in that. And so I go through this cycle of self-doubt and self-defeat and, well, I'm just not that big. It doesn't matter. Almost no one commented on it. And comments kind of drive me to a certain degree. Because having that feedback, I read everything. I may not respond to everything, and I do try to respond to everything, but I read everything. And the comments are like very, very motivating for me. Because it's one of the things that keeps me going is to know that people like this or like that, or they look forward to this thing, or in different situations like this. Like, I did one transition piece. The second to last episode where I opened up, that's easily like my magnum opus right now. It's probably the best thing I've done as far as setting the mood and tempo of everything. And it's just absolutely amazing. And I got tons of private DMs from people saying that it was just mind-blowing. And I'm very, very proud of it. So I know some people would enjoy it, but I feel like it's really arrogant to me to feel like it's something that needs to be done because people want to know. I don't think people understand how much effort goes into those kinds of videos. it's a lot of scripting, a lot of redoing, a lot of replaying, a lot of, in my case, some somewhat dependency on my fellow server members playing along. I can point out certain things. The test subject line from the end of the Clay Order arc was something I asked them to add because I was going to wrap it up into my story arc. And it's in my story arc, but it's something I never actually got to explore. So it's canon, just wasn't shown. Like, you know, directors who take a book and they convert it into a movie and they leave huge chunks on the cutting floor and people get upset because they left these really important pieces out. Well, I understand now. It's not that they're not important, it's that it's really hard to get things within context that they actually make sense. And that kind of thought process is something that is difficult because you can't please everybody, even though you want to. Content is coming, it's coming slowly. I'm trying to like re-find my footing. I scrapped the last one because it was just outright boring. There was no, I don't want to say motivation. There was no excitement to it. Very monotone. I ended up redoing almost all of it multiple times. So again, it's not something I'm super proud of, but I will figure out how to make it work. I apologize to those people who have been let down with my lack of posting. Please understand it's not that I'm giving up. I'm not. That I'm struggling with finding a place. Sometimes that is harder than it sounds. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble.